Hello and welcome to New Game Plus. I'm Tim. I'm joined by Kirsty. How are you?
I'm very good. We are now post-PAX quite a bit, so
Yep.
I'm not quite as ill as I once was.
Yep, but we're also celebrating because it's a milestone for us.
It is. I can't believe it. We are 125 episodes. Oh my
Century and a
God.
quarter.
I know. We should get an award. So thank you very much, everybody, for, of course, contributing, for being part of it, for watching us, for trolling us on Facebook.
Yes.
Hilarious.
And dealing with our horrible opinions.
Ah, no, we're always right, Timmy.
Yes.
Isn't that true? Because nothing fake ever goes on the internet. Always true.
Yes, but we've got some games this week.
We do.
Obviously a big one for both games space as well as mainstream. The new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Is it that time of the year already?
Yeah, it
Jeez,
is.
the Assassin's Creed's coming up soon as well.
Yeah.
So we're doing the dials before Christmas. So it's interesting to see this one because there's no dog apparently in this one.
But there's jetpacks.
Okay, I see what
That's
they're doing
always a good
here.
thing, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, then they'll have hats or they'll take the cherry ripe out of the cherry. So, so we're going to have, of course, more of that stuff coming up for you. We also have some PAX coverage for you. We've got the Dev Wrap.
Yep.
We did some great interviews at PAX, which is really fun. So, I mean, that's a great part about it, being actually able to meet a lot of developers for the game, particularly the indie dev scene.
Yeah, definitely. And it wouldn't be a New Game Plus episode without something Japanese.
Of
so we
course.
have a Samurai Warriors review as well for those of you out there who love their Samurai Warriors series.
How many times did you say Samurai Warriors? I like that. It was like, I'm going to say Samurai Warriors because if you say it a certain amount of times, does it like summon somebody? And they just spin on the spot and then they like stab you because isn't that Samurai Warriors?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into the review of Samurai Warriors.
Actually, it's Samurai Warriors.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4?
The fourth one in the Samurai Warriors. Well, no, there's been a couple of offshoots if we're counting that.
Well, the first one on PlayStation 4.
Well done. I like it. And the reason I've got you here
Yep.
is because we've played a lot of Dynasty Warriors.
Yes.
We've played Warriors Orochi.
Yes.
We've played Dynasty Gundam.
And we played the new Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors. That's the one. It's Hyrule Warriors.
Yes.
Which is a surprisingly legit game.
Yes.
I was really surprised at how well that game came out. So Samurai Warriors comes out, and you've got to worry sometimes that Koei Tecmo are stretching themselves a bit thin. Because, I mean, think about it. They've got the 3 main franchises they do, and then occasionally they do spin-offs, they do Ken's Rage, or those kind of things.
Yeah.
So sometimes you worry whether the quality is going to drop in these games. And I mean, when it's all said and done, the core tenets are still the same. You fight large armies, you complete objectives, that kind of stuff. So it's about the little stuff that they do, the intricacies that make them interesting. Samurai Warriors 4 is surprisingly good on that front. So
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, okay, it does have like the tagging system where you tag
it's
one
only
or two.
2.
It
Warriors
only
Orochi
2.
has 3.
Well,
Samurai
whatever.
Warriors, yeah.
But the Samurai Warriors is very much about the story.
Yes.
And I think they've nailed it with this part.
Well, they've said it in the Sengoku period, which is a big part of I guess it's people call it from the outside the feudal era, where it's when like all of the different clans and stuff are fighting, and it basically ends with the Tokugawas fighting in the kind of the last battle of the era. So it covers a huge span of the history. Not to mention the fact the creator character is even better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Like, you can do so much. You can change their style. You can change the way they carry themselves. It's very, very cool. But the Chronicle mode, I think it's Chronicle mode, where you go through and you have to find, you answer different generals and you do different missions for people and you have to find work and all this stuff. It's really in-depth. So for a game that people say is about running around, hacking, slashing, doing that kind of stuff, there's a lot to it. Should you play it?
yes.
That's not how that works. It's a rhetorical question. That's
It's a
okay.
rhetorical-
You tried.
Ah,
It's pretty good. You should give it a try.
Now, as we mentioned at the start of the episode, this is, of course, 125 episodes in. I've got a good feeling about this one. This could be the one where Timmy finally says yes to a Japanese game.
Yeah, well, this is the part of the show where we always talk about whether I'd play a game or not, and it always seems to coincide with some Japanese game that I'm not very interested in.
Now, because...
So this is probably a no.
Yeah, because now we did talk about Hyrule Warriors only a couple of weeks ago, and that was a game you did warm up to because recognizable characters, and it's a Nintendo product.
And it's just more westernized for a broader audience.
And the little fan child inside, you just can't say no to that beguiling mustache and the gentle smile of Mario. So, but this is, or maybe, okay, what about if they put the Drow Ranger in Samurai Warriors? Would you play?
Oh, like a Dota? Yeah.
Yeah, Dota characters.
I don't know. It'd be a weird crossover. It definitely would be a weird crossover.
It would be a
but-
very bizarre crossover, and I'd probably hate it even more. But it looks like, unfortunately, it's a no.
Xbox booth at PAX?
Are we at Microsoft's? I'm not too convinced.
I don't know. That kind of reason maybe PlayStation. Maybe I'm just going blind. I don't know. It's all green. It all doesn't make any sense to me. But there's a bunch of stuff here. There's Halo, Master Chief Collection, there's Minecraft. But we spend a lot of time checking out the ID to Xbox stuff, particularly Screen Sheet and hashtag IDOM.
There is a plethora of indie titles that look absolutely awesome that are coming out soon for the Xbox One and Xbox 360 consoles. But we are mainly concerned about hashtag IDOM.
Which is honestly a lot more fun than I was expecting.
Yeah, so effectively what it is think of like Battle Block Theaters mode where you actually play soccer and you throw the ball and go for goal and you play against opponents and play with your teammates. That's essentially that, but has a more simplistic approach. So you do have your attack button, your jump button, and your directional pad. Works incredibly well, easy to get into, and it's, like I said before, it's a whole lot of fun.
And it has a lot of indie characters from other indie games, and even a live Twitter feed for people using the hashtag IDOM hashtag. So a lot of fun, but also Screen Sheet's also a ton of fun on Xbox One.
Yeah, so it's just as interesting, an awesome premise of every character in the game or every player is invisible, so you actually have to use audio and visual cues in order to pick them up and actually shoot in a general location. So stuff like their bullets give off location as well as footsteps, so it's a really odd concept to get into, but honestly, it kind of, you do get used to it fairly quickly.
And it makes sense considering your 4-player local co-op on a console, it kind of evokes the feeling, so we're gonna head off. We're gonna maybe try play a little bit more D4 because that's a game that's totally here.
Yes, there's a setup for D4. Go play it, guys. It's awesome.
So 2K probably would have to have the reddest booth of all of PAX. What do you agree?
Yeah, if anything with John Cena on it, it's got to be rad.
But you can't see him though. You can't see him. Yeah, so all right, fine. We spent a lot of time with WB 2K15, the PS4 version of the game. It looks really nice. It plays a lot different to what you'd expect from a wrestling game. It's slower, but it's also a lot more rewarding. It rewards you for playing smarter, if it makes any sense.
I must say, I'm a bit different boat. Of course, it works mechanically, but the visuals, like, Yeah, it's not very consistent. So it goes from Randy Orton, who looks absolutely one for one, then John Cena looks like a complete Neanderthal. So
To be fair, it's the first time in a long time I've also scanned the models in, so
I think it's a bit tit for tat at this point.
true that. We also played a little of NBA 2K15 because it's out and I really love that game. And a little bit of Borderlands, but also a little bit of Evolve too, which is also a ton of fun.
Yeah, so I mean, Evolve, they're pushing really, really hard. Sure, you got some stuff here that's already been released, things like that, obviously for promotional reasons. But yeah, Evolve seems to be fairly legit.
True that. So we're going to try and get in line for some more wrestling because wrestling video games are a lot of fun.
They released for Evolve already, goddammit.
True that.
Okay, Jamie, let's get the specifics. Ubisoft.
They've got a lot of cool games. They've got the Just Dance. They've got the Assassin's Creed. They've got the Far Cry. It's a good year for them. But
It's what you'd expect, but there's some changes as well.
I mean, honestly, the thing we spent a lot of time was with The Crew, which is an open world MMO racing game where you take part in a series of missions. You drive fancy fast cars in open world environments across the US. It's actually a really neat idea. The handling of the cars is a little squirrely, but I think it's more a case of you need to get used to it over time as opposed to 5 minutes it takes to play the game.
I must agree, it is a little bit sluggish, but there is a certain visceral feel to it that you don't get in any other game. Now, let's talk about something else. Just Dance.
You played it. You tell me about it.
Actually, yes, I did play it, and there is some very incriminating footage of myself, Donald, and Nas playing it. So if you watch it, you might get pregnant.
But it looks like it's a fun dancing game. There's decent music in it. I mean, people dig it, so why not enjoy it? I suppose.
It works well. It's got Dead or Alive as well, so that's even awesome. So yeah, even some other stuff like Assassin's Creed, it is what you would expect. It plays solidly, all that sort of good stuff. Far Cry 4 as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I can't wait to check them out more.
So I've been watching movies lately.
You have. We've seen your blog. You should check it out. NewGamePlus.tv. It's summer because the moths are out.
Yeah.
But yes, NewGamePlus.tv. You should check out Liam's blog about the movies that he's been watching.
Trying to watch a lot of movies and watching some.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But I watched 2 recently, and we're going to talk about those. The first one is Interstellar.
Oh God, this is Christopher Nolan.
Yes, Christopher Nolan likes doing very long films. Interstellar is one of them. It's a sci-fi epic. Matthew McConaughey is on the search with Anne Hathaway for a
Matthew
new...
McConaughey.
Didn't you get the memo? He's a serious actor now.
Oh God.
But no, this is definitely an epic sci-fi film. There's some amazing shots, amazing sort of stuff happening as they search for a new Earth.
Okay.
However, there are lots of little throwaway lines
I've seen
and
Neil deGrasse
ideas.
Tyson on Facebook.
Yeah, there's lots of just one-line things that they just throw out that if you think about it, you go, no, that doesn't make any sense. Not from a science point of view, just from a world-building point of view. And there's lots of them, which I think kind of distracts you from it.
Christopher Nolan's thing to me has always been that he used style over substance. Whether people like to tell me the opposite or not, I don't care, because he used style over substance. Memento had a very simple story when you think about it. When you really break it down to brass tacks, Memento was a simple story. Batman Begins was a fairly simple story. The more convoluted he's been allowed to get, the more Kojima-esque he's been allowed to get, the bigger he gets and the worse his movies become.
There's still I think it's still worth watching. There's still some great stuff in it, but it is really long. It does get tied down, and there's some of the stuff that's not great, but it's a good cinema experience. I'm not necessarily selling you on this because I know you're not going to like it.
No. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, but it still definitely has its moments. It's just unfortunate that you have to watch.
The rest of it to get to those moments. But the other one that we've been discussing
Is an older film.
is a much older film. Now, I used to love horror movies.
Yep.
Like, I remember back in the days when horror movies were genuinely tense, genuinely scary. I mean, Alien is still one of the best horror movies we've ever made.
Speaking of slasher films, Halloween.
Yes.
John Carpenter's original Halloween. I'd seen about half the sequels, but never watched the original.
Have you seen Halloween H2O?
I have. I've seen Halloween Season of the Witch, which
Oh,
is not about
geez.
Michael Myers at all.
Yeah, wow,
but Michael
okay.
Myers is just like a psychopath that kills people with a mask. You never hear him speak. He doesn't really have any reason or rhyme to it, but he's just always chasing you with scary music behind him.
Yeah. There's none of that Freddy Krueger snark. There's none of that self-awareness. There's none of that kind of... It is just, here is a man who will kill you.
Yeah.
And he will do it for no other reason than he wants to kill you. He won't express why, but Jamie Lee Curtis, you better fucking run.
Yeah, there's lots of great subjective point of view shots. Really tense. Music is great. It still suffers from that. It's a
70s.
horror film, so we need to show teenagers having sex, which was fine.
John
But
Carpenter,
but definitely worth watching. Halloween.
Conflict. As the world teetered on the brink of anarchy, a new hope arose. An elite international task force charged with ending the war and restoring liberty to all nations. Overwatch. Soldiers, scientists, adventurers, oddities. Guardians who secured global peace for a generation. Under its steadfast protection, the world recovered. And today, though its watch has ended, its soaring ideals of freedom and equality will never be forgotten.
That was so cool! In that one battle, they had Soundquake. Remember, he has, like, chest missiles? So which one's your favorite? Mine's Fusionator. No. Tracer. Yeah, Tracer. She's like, cheers, love. The cavalry's here. Pew, pew, pew. Whoa. That's Doofen's gauntlet. Oh, man. They said he could level a skyscraper. And remember, he was all fighting and Winston beat him and was like, Primal Punch!
That's only in the holovids. Everybody knows Overwatch got shut down. Half of them are just mercenaries now.
Enjoying the exhibit? All right, playtime's over. Get to cover.
Come on, move it!
A new Blizzard IP. I am very excited. This Overwatch, and you're just nodding your head.
Yeah, no, I thought I was looking at a Pixar film for a
Yeah.
second there. I was waiting for like Woody and Buzz to come out.
It's a very nice cutesy trailer, but
It was.
that animation style is what the gameplay does look like. Obviously not as polished, but it's, let's face it, it's basically a Team Fortress 2
Yeah,
game.
and Team
But
Fortress 2 is
it adds a little bit more. I think like each of the heroes, it's rather than you're playing these 9 classes like you are in TF2, these heroes have a little bit more to them, a little bit more that defines that hero, and they're going to release, so far they've done 12, they're going to release more later on, but it's brilliant by Blizzard because you log into Battle.net, you have your action RPG, Diablo 3, your MMO, your Dota clone, your now FPS, and your card game. So you have everything on the Battle.net client, and it's really smart by them. But I'm looking forward to playing this game.
And they didn't name it HOTS.
Yeah.
Which was, so then
Which
it's
was
got
smart
another
branding.
HOTS to kind of go harder. What would they call it?
Well,
then?
it's Legacy of the
Heat
Void
of
now.
the- we've got Heart of the Swarm, Heart of the Storm, or something like Heroes of the Storm. Then it'd be like Heat of the, I don't know, Sun? I don't know. It's going to be something. I don't know, but I liked the little in-jokes in this trailer as well. Yeah. I thought it was really cute.
The guy's just playing Hearthstone.
That was really funny. And then I don't know, it actually did make me interested.
All right, Don, we're here. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
It's that time of the year again. It's time for Call of Duty.
Yes, basically. I wanted to do a quick disclaimer before we start. Call of Duty always gets accused of being the same game every year. It's the same thing. But there's lots of franchises that do that. Pokemon, it never gets criticized by its community. Dynasty Warriors, it never gets criticized by its community. So I don't want you to think that when I say it was absolute garbage, that I'm incorporating that into my criticism, because I think it's absolute garbage.
See, this is where I completely disagree with you. I really liked Advanced Warfare. I reckon it is one of the better Call of Duty games of recent times. But we'll get to your grievances, Jason, because you really did not like the campaign, did you?
No. So I always feel that if you're going to have a single player in a game, I'm going to judge you on it. And particularly when you've had Modern Warfare 1, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, all really solid campaigns with more depth than you would think. I always have to judge you on your campaign. The army stuff is boring. Kevin Spacey's obvious.
Yeah, he is.
Like, it just... Nothing about the world seems to make sense. Like,
no, it doesn't. But that's kind of why I like the campaign. It's a big, dumb action movie, and sure, it's not as interesting as or intelligent as Modern Warfare 1, nor did it have your interesting protagonist like in Black Ops 2, but it's a big, dumb roller coaster, and I really liked it for that regard, to be able to just switch my brain off and just jump from bus top to bus top, or to just watch the explosions, the many, many explosions.
I'll pay the bus. The bus wasn't bad. For a quick time of any part, the bus wasn't bad. But
better than hold X to pay respect, that's for sure.
Well, hold X to pay respect. It's not even. But I think that's probably as far as the game itself goes, instead of making the enemies smarter, they just make them harder to kill, in the sense that they just take more bullets to kill.
There's a simple solution, play on normal.
You gotta play on hard. Yeah, like, it was... The campaign was so obviously, well, people expect it to be, so I guess we have to do it. You know? But the one thing I will say is the mobility options you have, the double jumps, the grapples, that kind of stuff, they seem like they would be really good fun in multiplayer, which is the part that I haven't touched.
Yes, and the multiplayer is very much enhanced by the mobility, and it's a shame that the mobility, the double jumping, the boosting, that you don't really get to use that in the single player. Thankfully, you do have it in the multiplayer though, because it just adds literally a whole new dimension that you have to consider verticality in multiplayer maps as well. And aside from that, just running around and boosting, it makes the already frantic pace of Call of Duty multiplayer even more so. I had a lot of fun with the multiplayer, indeed, probably the most fun I've had since Black Ops 2. Admittedly, we're coming off of Call of Duty Ghosts, which was awful in every respect.
Well, I think that's the thing. When I saw that, I would hope that they would take advantage of the verticality, because it just makes sense. It's like Dark Void. I mean, Dark Void was an okay game, but the idea of having a world where you could look up and down and it wasn't just a simple flat affair, I think they needed to capitalize that. So now that you said that, maybe I'll give it a look. Maybe I'll see if I can forgive it for all of its crimes against intelligence. But we shall see.
I still disagree with the campaign. I still really liked that aspect. I liked the multiplayer indeed, and I reckon Advanced Warfare is a great debut from Sledgehammer Games.
So you can see where they've seen Titanfall and gone, this is pretty cool. Let's do something like this.
Yeah. I guess mechs, maybe we're getting into that mecha. You know how we go through like the, ninjas versus pirates, and now maybe we're moving into the kind of mecha, the whole robots
just again. Like futuristic jetpacks, all that sort of stuff. And well, it's improved the game. Like you can do a lot more stuff with COD now that you can just jump around and fiddle with cool gadgets and have Kevin Spacey as well. So.
See, that's pretty cool, because Kevin Spacey's a very sexy man. Like he's one of those, those like kind of weird beautifuls. It's like I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. I'm sure you may not appreciate him as much as I do, but it was very cool.
He's a very talented actor.
He's a very talented actor. So it was very cool to see him in this video game actually. Yeah. And it's that crossover. I'd be interested to see it in 10 years when maybe he's not so beautiful. Actually, he's been beautiful for a very long time, so I don't think he won't ever get unbeautiful. Okay. But yeah, Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty because I shoot people, and see Kevin Spacey. Yeah, he's so beautiful.
Okay.
But anyway.
Now that we've cleared the air with that, I am going to hibernate for next. Well, not hibernate. I'm going to lock myself in a room for the next few weeks because Warlords of Draenor coming out.
Yeah, it was really nice. Timmy did 125 episodes with us, and we're not sure when we're going to see him back again, because this seems to be a pretty full-on thing. So we'll hold a minute's silence, for you next week. If you're even going to be awake enough, I was going to bring you an IV bag full of mother.
Well, we're filming this just before the release, so it would have already been out, and I could quite possibly just be on a 70-hour streak of just and we'll see what happens. But
it's the collective drain of the internet from the world. It's just all of a sudden internet speeds everywhere have just kind of slowed down. But it does signal, I guess, the real kickoff of the release season. I mean, Smash Brothers has been brought forward a week now, so finally, I'll get myself really into that. Of course, Assassin's Creed's coming up really soon. We're just getting some of those really large releases pre-Christmas. It's going to be like crazy.
None of it matters because Warlords of Draenor.
At least I won't have to hear about Dota anymore, which is great. So that's a break for me. But anyway, Timmy, we should wrap it up.
So visit our website, www.newgameplus.tv.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/NewGamePlusTV.
Follow our Twitters and Instagrams at NewGamePlusTV.
And watch our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/NewGamePlusTV.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Timmy. And I might see you next week.